cold armor. It makes you immune to getting frozen, so these ice bastards don't do shit.
Oh yes, the
Fuck you, ice bastard!
the Rito armor.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, folks. I was playing Breath of the Wild because I'm a gamer. I don't just talk about games. I also play them.
Well, I do apologize, folks, but for the delay. But we are now live. Hey, everybody. This is the OGAL number 3, or those that have been around for the last year with me. You can look at it as the OGL number 53. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. You guys can go ahead and introduce yourselves in any order you like. And for those that think this is strictly about movies tonight, it is not. It's just I want to bring up certain concepts that I believe are intriguing, that I wish could have led to more movies, more exposure, but they didn't, as well as recent gaming news. But go ahead and introduce yourselves any way you like.
Hello, my name is Kanoshi Bamanito. Here to say that April Fool's Day is a day where on the internet you're being lied to and deceived by various companies and various organizations, and to that I say, how's that different from any other day?
I was about to say, isn't that every day on the internet?
Yeah, okay. Before anyone else goes, did anyone see that bullshit that Keith, I think it's Keith Norris, shout out to him, posted, talking about, it was some video saying how to control a guardian on Breath of the
Yeah, that was
Wild.
some bullshit.
Now,
man.
when I saw it, I was like, "There's no way to pilot a guardian." I told him, I said, "Dude," I said, "I'm not trying to have this shit. I know it's April Fool's, and I click on it, you can kiss my ass." He's like, "But the video they made was actually pretty good." I said, "I don't care. I'm not clicking on it."
Wait. Is there a way you can control a guardian?
No, it's not.
No, but here's the thing. Like, Breath of the Wild is so damn deep that if there was a way to control a guardian, you wouldn't be surprised that it existed. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. I will control it and go rampage on a town on Hateno Village.
That's dark. What the fuck did they do to you, man?
Let it fire the lasers.
Wow. So let me guess, you're the one who's Calamity Ganon.
Actually, I wish the game would let you join the Koga clan. The Giga clan was it? You can just go around like killing 4 Hyruleans and serving Ganondorf. They should have made that an alternate path.
Damn.
You're one of those people who play the dark path and Fable.
Yeah, so I'm gonna quote Michael Caine from The Dark Knight Returns. Some people just want to watch the world burn.
Well, if you take a look at my avatar, I do look pretty evil anyway.
I wouldn't go that far. I'm just saying that's kind of dark. I went like the first time I went to Gerudo Village, I was like, look, Ganon could have been in a town surrounded by tall, curvy black women and be the only man in the town filled with tall, curvy black women, and he would rather destroy Hyrule than be in a town filled with tall, curvy black women. Seems kind of wrong to me.
Well, you gotta understand, taking over the world is more important to some people.
That's just seem kind of wrong to me. That's all I can say.
That's what motivates us. Not everybody is motivated by sexual urges.
Nothing sexual about it, man. And you're the only man in an entire civilization that's built around. You know, if you're the only male Gerudo, you got it made in the shade, and your name is Slade, and like it's like even they're all hot and curvy. I mean,
well,
something's wrong with you, son.
Ganondorf had the choice of being the harem king, but he chose to be the king of Hyrule.
But he's not the king of Hyrule. It's a shithole now.
But you know what I mean with harem king, you know.
Man, I'd rather be surrounded by hot women, hot curvy black women, and I'm the only dude.
What do you guys use the ancient chords? Not the ancient. The
You
second,
say you say
the bigger ancient chords.
where do you get them from? What do you use them for? Or what are you asking?
Oh, giant ancient chord. Yeah, what do you use those for?
The bow
You
and
use those.
arrow for the bow.
Yeah,
You
you
use
use
it to
them to
upgrade
make.
the
Um,
bow.
you can either upgrade your clothes. I'm sorry. Yeah, you can do upgrades to your runes. I know one or two of your runes actually requires that. Um, there's also I think it's a stasis one, but you can also use it
I think it is, yes.
to create your arrows.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
then the
Actually,
mean,
giant
I
ancient
think you
core
can
is
use
used to
some
make
of them. Yeah,
the
I think some of
ancient
them you can
bow.
use to upgrade your. You can use some of them to upgrade your armors, if I remember correctly. Like once you get
Yeah,
them and take them
you'll need ancient core and giant ancient cores to fully upgrade the ancient armor, and then you'll need a giant ancient core for the ancient bow, which, like every other game that has a bow and arrow, it'll shoot straight. It doesn't like
So
bob.
so it has no ballistics arc to it.
Yeah, it just shoots straight.
which I'm cool with.
That's
Doctor,
Nice.
Doctor, can I ask off-topic question? What do you think of the new Power Ranger movie?
Haven't seen it yet, but my wife and I do want to see the new movie. I'd probably go see it sometime this week. The new Power Ranger.
I saw it.
Tell me how it was because I want to see it, but
I'm not going to tell you how it was. Here's what I'll say about it. Okay, I'm going to keep it real. The film is about as good or as bad, depending on how you want to look at it, as the film from the 90s.
Oh no.
Oh, God.
Okay. Hold on.
No. Let me elaborate a little bit before someone says, "Oh, that's a bad thing."
No. I wasn't gonna say that. What I was gonna say is, I am in my mid-30s. I actually love the film from the 90s.
No, yeah, it's okay when you're 8 years old and you've watched it about 10 times.
But I wasn't 8 in the 90s, dude. I was like in high school, so I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah,
in high school?
like okay, it's delightfully cheesy. Okay, it's delightfully cheesy.
Okay,
this film
fine.
is also delightfully cheesy, but here's the thing. Okay, the same issues that they had in that film, they have in this film, except it's years after the fact. But basically, that's the one flaw. Well, okay. Remember, if you were a Power Rangers fan back then, the one thing that bothered you about those Zords was it was like, why are they trying to make the Zords cool? Because the thing about Power Rangers is that the Zords are not really supposed to be cool.
Hold on. Why do you say that? They're not really supposed to be cool.
Because the Zords are based off of the Sentai series, which is basically live action, Voltron things, right? That's basically what they're supposed to be. But here's the thing: the shit that looks cool in anime in live action looks ganky as hell. But that was part of the charm of Power Rangers, was that it looked ganky as hell. But you went with it because it like the live action worked. It was so cheesy that it was good. It's like when we were kids, we loved the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. The one that came out in '89 with Michelangelo going damn when he loses his side. Like the animatronics at the time were fucking amazing, and I mean, there's a certain point where it's still like those are fucking amazing. But the sequel, like the animatronics were a little bit like cheesier, but it still wasn't so bad that you were like, fuck this movie. Well, that's basically how that cheesiness, that level of cheesiness, is about as cheesy as the Power Rangers were when we were kids.
And the Michael Bay Ninja Turtles.
Don't mention that shit.
Hey! I actually did like the Michael Bay.
Don't mention that turd.
He wasn't a director. He was a producer. Okay, give it a break.
Look, let me put it this way. You want to know how I know when Michael Bay makes a film? Because whenever Michael Bay
explosions, cocksucking to the military, Megan Fox.
No. It has jokes in it that are borderline racist or sexist that Like you can tell Michael Bay had his hand in it because he thinks the shit's funny. But if he was around people that were like not subservient to him, they would say that's stupid and slap the fuck out of him, and it wouldn't be in the movie. Like those jigaboo bots they had in that Transformers movie. Those racist ass robots.
Oh God! Don't
Like, he
mention
thought that shit was funny. Hey man, that's funny. You know what? Like if someone who didn't work for him had been in that trailer when they said you're gonna cut that shit from this movie. I'm sorry.
Why, Mr. Red Fox? Why you bring those garbage Transformer movies into my mind?
Because that's
The
what
third
Michael Bay
one.
is known for.
The only Transformers movie I saw from beginning to end was the third one. I was like, this movie's trash.
The only Transformers movie that exists in my mind is the one that had Orson Welles voicing Unicron. That's it. There is no other Transformers movie. Because what Michael Bay does, those aren't Transformer movies. They have giant robots.
Yes, they are.
Those are not Transformers
Those
movies.
are Transformers movies.
No, they aren't.
Remember
Remember
the Team America movie, that Michael Bay sucks song. Like, that's how I think of the man.
those are not. I'll tell you the good films Michael Bay has done. The Rock and Bad Boys. That's it. Those are the only good.
Bad boys. What you gonna do? What you
Pain and
gonna
Gain was
do
good
when
too.
I come for you?
Yeah, and Pain and Gain was good too. Yeah, that's about it. Those are the only films he did that were good.
Well, Michael Bay can do good movies with terrible adaptations.
Oh God!
All right,
But you know he's coming after next though, folks.
Look,
Actually, there's a rumor that he's coming after Voltron's next.
Oh God, we're all fucked.
Okay.
We need to go get the South Park kids to go and get him like they did in that episode with George Lucas and Steven Spielberg. I'm gonna remake Indiana Jones. No, no, no. This version's gonna be better. No.
well, let me ask all you guys a question real quick. This is pertaining to one of the topics. How many of you have actually seen the movie Looper?
What?
So it's good.
Movie Looper.
What movie?
I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
But
It's-
what's
this
the name of the
movie.
movie?
It's called Looper. It's this movie where it's set in a dystopian future where basically like a near future where the economy sucks and no one can find a job. So essentially, people have found a job basically executing people who are sent from the future with this specialized shotgun. Like they pop up at a certain place at a certain time, which the person who's going to execute them is given ahead of time, and then they shoot them and execute them. But here's the thing: you're not allowed to change the past, change the future by killing someone You're not allowed to kill people by altering the past. But so the last person that you kill when you're one of these loopers is yourself from the future, because in the future murder is illegal. so ultimately you have to execute yourself at the end, and if you don't, they hunt you down. And it's actually a really dark film. I mean, this shit is it's a dark film.
Well, what I would say about Looper, what intrigued me was, and I can understand how this could be very, very interesting to anyone in that situation. You got a shitty economy, and you make a deal where you're an assassin. You send people back, basically to be killed by your past self, whatever. And then after your last contract or whatever, they say, okay, we're gonna give you $100 million
In gold.
in gold to do whatever you want, and you get to do this for 30 years. So they say 30 years, you do what you want, live the rich life, whatever you want to do. But at the end of that 30 years, whether you're in perfect health or not, they close the loop by killing you.
Yep.
So it's kind of like, it's good, and I can see anyone saying 30 years out here, I'll probably be gone long before then. It's like, well, what if you're not?
And how did the movie did in the box office?
It didn't do too well because it was a little too high-minded for the average moviegoer.
What is your average moviegoer like?
They just want to watch something that's going to make them feel good.
I'm going to say something right now that's going to actually make Mr. Red Fox, feel good. The average moviegoer is the one that goes to see Transformers movies by Michael Bay, but don't know shit about Transformers really.
Yep.
That's your average moviegoer.
And the only thing they're happy to see is that shit is exploding on screen. They're like, hey, look, that robot's got balls. Look, Megan Fox's ass.
What robots with balls? Stop killing the Transformer movies more than I already have in my mind, Mr. Red Fox.
There was a robot in one of those Transformer films that had balls. It did have balls.
I grew up with Transformers and it has been reduced to
so
robots with balls.
Why do you think I was so angry? I was like, what is this shit? Like, okay, I'm one of those people who went to go see the first movie. I'm like, wow, the remake of Transformers. They got Peter Cullen doing the voice of Optimus Prime. That's the dude who did the voice of Optimus Prime in the Gen 1 animated series we all grew up with, This shit's gonna be awesome. And that's what it was. It was shit, but it wasn't awesome. But look, I mean, basically, what Michael Bay did to the Transformers franchise is like one day waking up and some shit comes out on your parents and you find out your mom was a hoe. Like that's almost how bad your heart was hurt by what he did to the Transformers franchise. It's like no.
For me, I feel like my childhood was hit with a truck.
Well, listen, I'm gonna go on record and say this, and do not slit my throat, okay? I actually like the Transformers films, except for the second one. To me, the second one, and I know it took place in that whole writer strike thing was going on, and they had to reuse scenes. I mean, it was lame. Man. Even some of the stereotypes they use in there were lame with the guys.
Well, that's no excuse, Dr. Phil.
I know it's
on those movies that terrible.
I know it's not an excuse, man. Trust me. I know. I'm just saying, but it's factually it was going on, the filming of it when the writer strike was going on. Okay, I'm not saying it's an excuse. However, I like the films, but let me say why I like them. I know they have nothing to do with the original storylines or whatever. I know they have nothing to do with that. Almost nothing in his movies are even remotely related to what happened in a canon or in a cartoon. Nothing is. However, I went to the movies, and I'm not the biggest Transformers fan, but I am a fan. I've seen some of the original cartoons and the remakes and stuff, but I went to the movies knowing one thing. I'm not going for the storyline. I'm actually going to see someone bring the Transformers to life in grand fashion CGI. And I love that part about the film. But do I care about the story? I do care about it, but I know the story sucks. The stories are garbage. The acting is garbage. The emotion even is garbage. But god damn, the models look pretty damn good.
Don't say that, man. Don't you like Sheila Buff's my personal favorite? No. And Mark Wahlberg's. Hey man, that's my dog. He's such a great inventor. Cause yeah, Mark Wahlberg really channels an inventor. I mean, when I look at Mark Wahlberg, I think, yeah, that's an intellectual type of guy. He really looks like he could invent some shit.
Listen, look, like I say, I didn't go for that. That's why, like, even when you say a film may suck or whatever, or not worth watching, something I may have enjoyed, I always say, look, I completely understand your point of view. If you're coming from a person that's a fan of the original, whether it be anime, cartoon, comics, canon, whatever it may be, I can understand why you may be upset. But me, when I see these film adaptations of old school cartoons and even movies, I always say to myself, don't go as a big fan of those films or those or like the original stuff. Go as you want to see this person's adaptation. You want to see their vision. Their vision may be garbage. It may be complete shit. But go to see what they want to put out on the screen. Because now, if a director, If Michael
I
Bay
can
was to come
understand
out and
that.
say, "Yeah, you know what, I'm making this Transformers movie that's going to be in line with the original story, and we got what we have right now," I'd be pissed because now you told me that you're going to do something and you didn't even come close. But he never claimed that. He said, "Michael Bay, we realize you're very good at explosions and fancy, just fancy shit, and you like to put ass on screen at the right time. And honestly, as far as story, your movies suck, but as far as bringing in the crowd, you know how to do that. So
But
take this
Fair
IP,
enough.
take this IP and bring
Doctor,
in the money."
but
Fair enough.
let's be honest. We may say a movie suck, but at the end of the day, as I always tell, this is subjective. What if I may not find enjoyment in Transformer movie, but you may, if you find enjoyment, it. At the end of the day, each person has their own interpretation of a
Yeah.
certain movie.
I
I
mean,
mean,
like,
true.
here's the thing.
But
Here's the
I'm
thing.
pretty sure it's unanimous. Anyone that loves Transformers or is a fan of the Transformers, I'm pretty sure it's unanimous that the movies, as far as the story, they suck. But the action and and how it's brought to us is awesome. But anyone that loves Transformers and was a fan of the cartoon back in the day, I'm pretty sure to them the story, the premise, what Michael Bay's doing is garbage.
Some
It
people
pisses them off.
just
I'm pretty sure.
some people just love to go to these movies because they want a spectacle. That's all they're looking for. They're looking for a spectacle. They enjoy the explosions. They enjoy the nonsense that goes on in a lot of the movies. I mean, you can't.
I mean,
Can't take that away from them.
I mean, like we each had our own movies that not everyone likes, but we find enjoyment in them. I
Yeah,
like
I mean, like,
I like the Star Wars prequels, and
well,
believe me,
I used to hate the Star Wars prequels, but then I watched The Force Awakens, and I was like, it's not that bad. What I will say is that
oh,
everyone has.
you hate the Force Awakens too, Mister
I wasn't.
Redcloth.
Well, if I wanted to watch a remake of the original films, I would just. I wouldn't even watch a remake. I'd watch the original fucking films, which I have. But
Oh
no.
my God,
What I was about to say. What I was about to say is that everyone has a guilty pleasure film, a film that they know is fucking horrible, but they love to watch it anyway. For me, I put some of those films in the logs before this thing went out. I mean, I have some of them here. Like I like I mean, I really love Big Trouble in Little China. It bombed at the box office, but oh man, I love that film. Ice Pirates. It's terrible, but for some reason, I just love that film. Monster Squad. Look, say it with me, folks. Wolfman has nards. I mean, what film has a kid kick of the Wolfman in the nuts except Monster Squad?
And the same can be done with critically acclaimed movies that some movies that some people say are perfect, but you don't find what's so perfect about them. A big example for me is the James Cameron's Avatar.
No, I
The
mean, I
James Cameron's
personally was not a
Avatar.
huge fan of
No,
Avatar.
I like James. I like James Cameron's Avatar, but to be the best movie of all time, no, it ain't.
No, I never said that. To me, overall, I wouldn't say that it's the best movie of all time. I think what makes it the best movie of all time is the technology they use to make and film the movie, as
Yeah.
well as the fact that it made $2.8 billion. But
Yeah.
if you talk about the deepest story of all time, no,
Oh, hell no.
it's
Yeah.
no, because
Yeah.
basically what people were saying is true. It was just basically a modern technological take on Dances with Wolves. That's really all it was.
Or Pocahontas.
I say
If you think
Pocahontas.
about it, or
Yeah.
Pocahontas.
I came around
But it
like,
really
oh,
was that.
it's just Pocahontas.
I mean, but all they did is they took it and made it attractive for the mainstream audience, and it worked. It worked phenomenally, and I mean, I'm looking forward to the 3 to 4 sequels he has coming out with
Well,
it. I'm looking forward to that.
I want to say something to reinforce the point, but I'm not going to get a lot of people pissed off. It's just that I'm not the biggest fan of Marvel movies, and I wanted to say the
Okay.
Marvel movies that get a lot of high reviews, and for me, they're just as bad as the Michael Bay Transformer movie. They're all spectacle, no story.
Okay. All of them. Like, do you have one that fits that criterion?
At least the Avengers movie, at least because I like the Thor ones. I like it. The Batman movies are awesome.
All right.
Now I can agree there. Now Avengers 2, it had some great points in it, but I still think the first one was better.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
didn't
you're
really
right.
care. I didn't care much about the
What?
Bro,
Someone's stuff cut out.
I think
What's
it's that.
happening?
I think the doctors. Doctor,
Goddamn.
doctor, are you still in the office? I think the Doctor Field is gone, at least for now.
Damn. Okay, so I mean, basically, for me, Avatar is one of those films that just kind of, um, I'm not like Avatar looks gorgeous, but once you get past the surface, it's just not a very good film. Like it doesn't
Like
tell
the
a good
order
story.
1886.
Yeah, this looks great, but then you, like, I'm like, if I wanted to watch Pocahontas, I'd watch the animated Pocahontas.
You know a movie I think a lot of people praise, but I think it kind of sucks. Civil War. Civil War
And
didn't.
I gotta disagree with
It,
you on that one.
it had an incoherent story. They introduced a lot of stuff that they didn't clarify. Like they just throw the Sokovia Accords, but they never went through. Like they just mentioned them like twice, and then the whole story
You guys hear me?
goes like
Yeah,
it's
we can
not
hear you now. I
important.
don't.
The
Yeah,
the
I don't
main villain is
understand how
lame.
you didn't understand the Sokovia Accords. The
No,
Sokovia,
I mean
it was fairly well explained. It was a UN accord where essentially controls over what the Avengers did would be put up to consensus vote, and they would be told what where to go and what to do. The problem with that is that, or at least the problem with that is that essentially, if
What?
this is where the Captain America versus Iron Man thing comes in. Team Iron Man. Captain America was basically, okay, the idea behind it is good, but here's the problem. Nations have agendas. Like we could be sending to something that's some bullshit political stunt when we really need to be someplace else because it's an actual crisis going on that might be inconvenient for certain nations, but it's something we need to deal with. And Iron Man said, well, we need some type of controls over us because all this other shit that happened, even though if you really watch the other films, like half of that shit, like really the only person who really need to sign the Sokovia Accords and be under any type of UN control is Iron Man, because half the shit that happens in the Avengers and all these other films is Tony Stark's fault.
Yeah.
Like Avengers 2, Tony Stark, the first Iron Man. The reason those two mutants, okay, they're not allowed to call them mutants because Marvel signed away their stuff. The reason they're pissed is because a Stark missile blew up their house. I mean, if anyone needs to be muzzled, it's Tony Stark in the Marvel Cinematic Universe because everyone else is doing their job.
But I also find
You guys
Simo
hear
to
me?
be a weak bill.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, just make sure.
I
Go ahead.
found Simo to be kind of a weak bill. Like
Really?
yeah, like I don't. He had no presence. I just didn't like Civil War. But that's my opinion, at least.
That's odd because in my opinion, Zemo was the most relatable villain because he was a dude who was pissed. Like he was a tangible villain. He wasn't like some superpowered dude. He was like, look, I'm mad because some shit Tony Stark started because he built Ultron in the cinematic universe. Once again, the most dangerous man, the man who really needs to be thrown in jail and muzzled is Tony Stark. Some shit that he started basically caused my family to die, so I'm going to break the Avengers. Which he's one of the few villains who actually succeeded in his job. He actually beat the Avengers. He's just a man.
Actually,
Doesn't have any
you have a
superpowers.
point because he did in the end manage to make Cap and Iron Man fight to the death.
Well, they were going to fight anyway because Tony Stark is a douche, but Zemo really nailed it.
Yeah, but if Tony Stark didn't see that it was Bucky that killed his parents, he wouldn't go all out on on Captain America. Like he wanted to truly kill them.
Well, he wanted to kill Bucky and
And Captain America with his gay bromance wouldn't let that be.
well, I mean, you have to remember,
They're best friends, man. They're almost like
they're
brothers.
best friends. Yeah, they're best friends. They were part of the Howling Commandos. Like here's the thing. Like when someone has your back the way Bucky had his back, like when his parents died, like he gave him a house, like and he was almost like
Well,
kept him from living off the streets. He fed him. I mean, he's family.
actually, and Iron Man should have understand that Bucky was under mind control anyway.
Well, that's something they added after the fact because basically the Winter Soldier is a relatively new Marvel character because James Barnes died, but it turns out that he didn't die. He was found. His mind was wiped, and he was turned into a super assassin, like the Russian, like the Hydra version of super soldiers. But it wasn't.
I need to go for a minute because my dad needs some help, but I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, dude. Whatever works for you.
Well, I do have a
Doc,
question.
you were saying something really cool.
Oh, what I was gonna bring up this time is another little tidbit I want to ask about. Now, the movie Jumper. Who's seen that?
I love that film. It's great.
So much potential, but wasted, and I can't understand why.
And they had Sam Jackson too. That's the worst thing. I'm like, you had Sam Jackson with a blonde with some blonde hair plugs extensions. Why did you waste Sam Jackson? He's such a precious gift. Don't waste.
Exactly. But to me, I can't lie. That movie felt more like a video game because, especially at the end, he's like, "So, you're my mom." He says, "So, I'm a jumper, and you're a paladin, and basically your job, regardless, is to hunt people like me down." And I'm thinking like this could really make for some great shit, but just the way they executed it,
Was
even
ass.
though the movie was
Yeah.
awesome to me, but it's like you guys, you could have done so much better than what you did.
Yeah.
And I really do hate that it didn't get a chance to get a sequel, or they could have took it further. Because I really want to see that play out. Because I can see a whole war with the Paladins versus the Jumpers, and it's like, what do you do? It is not like one that's we never even knew why. Just why are you hunting them down? Really, just because they got a unique talent or a power that could be dangerous in the wrong hands? It's like, well, what the hell?
You need to go kill everybody.
Seriously. I mean, please don't enter the Marvel universe. Like, please don't. But like I said, it's to me, it's a movie that it's just wasted potential. And then another movie, Gamer. I can see video games getting to that point within the next 20 to 50 years, where
I gotta disagree with that.
our entire room is like just some big ass motion tracking AR.
I can see that. Yeah.
I mean,
I
honestly, I hope it
like
does.
the idea of Gamer, but the execution was not.
True.
all
No,
there.
well, I'm not talking about them. I'm not talking about the whole society game they had where you can let someone control you and stuff like that. I'm talking about when dude was playing the first person shooter. I like that
Oh
part.
yeah, that would be awesome. I'm gonna add something to your 4 films because here's a film that we've already seen how to execute it perfectly, but they could never pull it off. Tron.
Oh, okay. You know they're supposed to be making another one, right?
Mm-hmm. But here's the thing: they're always like, "Oh, okay, we need it." Like they tried. The first Tron was pretty good. The second Tron,
It expanded, but it wasn't done.
Yeah, one of the problems with the second one is there's too much dialogue. That's
No. like okay,
interesting.
the first film was called Tron. Yet it focused on the guy who made the games and felt that this company stole his ideas, Flynn. The second film is called Tron, but the guy's fucking name is in the film. Tron, the antiviral defense program guy. He gets taken out like a fucking bitch in the film, so that they could jack off Jeff Bridges. Look, I like Jeff Bridges, but I mean, Like, if you're gonna have a film called Tron, it needs to focus on the programs, not human beings in this digitized world. But here's what they need. Here's what they should be forced to watch before they make another Tron film. Reboot.
They're already rebooting Reboot.
Yeah, I know, and it's gonna have live action and teenagers and fuck that. But the original reboot did Tron better than Tron because it was about computer programs dealing with viruses in their world and how they like dealt with basic shit that we know about, like computer virus defenses and stuff like that, and like fighting the user, protecting their world. And if they made a Tron that was focused more on the programs and less on human beings, they could make a better film. But this is Disney, so unless it's Marvel or Star Wars.
Hello, darlings. What have you been talking about now?
Well, right now we're talking about Tron. Red brought up the movie Tron and how the first one was good, but the second one had its flaws. But the second one was called Tron Legacy. So, I mean, look, I'm not saying the film was perfect. I'm not even saying it was even better than good. I like the fact that it brought into the modern day with the new CGI. I can appreciate that for the film.
Yeah.
Actually, I found the Tron Legacy was a good film for me, at least. I kind of enjoyed. I kind of enjoyed it.
I like the music because it was Daft Punk, and Daft Punk is always worthwhile. But
now I've heard back and forth stuff.
Tron Legacy, the greatest level in Kingdom Hearts.
I've heard that like Disney has. The rumors have been circling for a while. They're actually going to make this a sequel to it, but then Disney's come out a few times and like not necessarily denied it, but just kind of said we're not working on it at this time. I hope they get to make it, and I hope they, do right by it because they can really go far with that. They really could.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was essentially saying. If they basically made the next Tron be more like Reboot, like Reboot the TV show, like the old show from back in the day, where it focuses on the programs in their computerized world, like we could have a new Tron, because that was the thing about Tron, is that like Tron was the anti-virus defense program that like he's the dude. I mean, his name's in the fucking title, and yet none of these films are about Tron. What the hell's up with that? That's like saying this movie's called John Wick, but it's not about John Wick. It's about some dude named Dave.
Well, how many Tron movies were there?
There's two. There's the first Tron from the 70s, well, like the late 80s, the early 80s, and then there's Tron Legacy, which
what Mr. Redford? What would be a cool idea for a John Tron sequel? I mean, the Tron sequel.
Like I said, Reboot. It would basically be like Reboot.
Actually, talking about reboots, what are your guys' opinions of the Disney, the whole live action reboots of their old films? Like the Beauty and the Beast, the Jungle Book, the Cinderella.
I don't like the idea of them, so I don't go to them. I don't spend money on them.
Some of them are good. Some of them are good. Some of them aren't good.
I just don't like the whole concept, so I don't spend money on it.
No, I understand. Like, okay, Cinderella was ass. Beauty and the Beast was all right.
Jungle Book was awesome.
Jungle Book was good. Yeah, Jungle Book. Let me put it this way: Jungle Book. I'm gonna tell you right now, Idris Elba and Shere Khan is scary as fuck.
That dude, to me, only one person could have been Shere Khan, and that was James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
Actually, I want to see the Beauty and the Beast one.
Vader, so.
I want to see the Beauty and the Beast one, but I'm still not convinced that
if you like the original film, which I do, yes, I'm a 35-year-old, some guy, whatever, that I did watch the original films and I like them. So yes, it is actually a good film. It's very in line with the original. They even tied in some of the old musicals, so it was actually I love the film. I loved it.
I mean,
if you come into this watching this, hoping they changed up a whole bunch of stuff, Go look elsewhere. They didn't. All they
Yeah.
did was take the
Except
original
that dress.
and make it
Oh,
live
God,
action.
that dress.
Now there are some things that they couldn't duplicate because the people who sang it, like their version of "Be Our Guest" or "Beauty and the Beast," not as good as the original. But you had Angela Lansbury singing that, and it's iconic. And like Angela Lansbury is dead. Okay, be like the people who sang that are gone. So like their renditions, if you're that married to the original, are never gonna sate your thirst for that. But I mean,
And
overall, it's not terrible.
and the Cinderella one, how bad was it?
I
Yeah,
heard
that
I
wasn't.
hadn't seen it, but I heard it. I heard it was just okay or meh, nothing
Yeah.
to write home
It,
about.
like there's some things that they just need to keep. I know Disney's like, look, man, we need to make some money. We'll do live action remakes. There's some shit where live action works. Like if they do a live action Aladdin, I'm actually looking for that. A live action
are.
Mulan, I'll look
They're
forward to
doing
that.
that.
They are.
They're also
Yeah,
doing a
they're
live
doing that
action
too.
Dumbo, I think is the next one.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that one. But if they
No,
do a
What the
me
live
neither.
hell?
action,
What the hell? A live action
Uh,
Dumbo?
but I have one concern. They have about I think 15 or so movies that be releasing for the next I think 6 to 7 years that are live
yep.
action remakes. The one that has me concerned the most is Aladdin because Robin Williams is Genie.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Robin Williams dead.
To me,
Yeah,
to me
yeah.
right now, only one or two people can fit that. And the first thing I'm thinking they're probably going to ask the first person is probably Jim Carrey.
Actually,
Yeah,
I had the same thought as you. I was like talking with my mom, and I said, if they ever going to do an Aladdin one, I think Jim Carrey will fit the genie role. Like now that we don't have Robin Williams.
yeah, that's about as close to a genie-like character that you're going to get in this,
With
nowadays.
all the comedy and energy, he to me he'd be the closest. Now, I'm
or
not saying
or
others could do
or
it.
or Adam Sandler's the other one.
Oh God, no! Jesus Christ!
Well, you know what?
I
No,
mean,
no, 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 hold on, Red Fox,
I'm
Red
an
Fox.
Adam Sandler fan, but he couldn't do a
I can
genie. I'm
see.
sorry.
Hold on. I can see him putting out a different kind of genie that's still funny, maybe not as energetic, but probably a little cooler, a little cool, laid back, comical genie, not the funny, witty, super energized, too much sugar kind of genie. So I can see Adam Sandler kind of pulling off a more. Let's just say, if I had to give his genie a description, it'd be more like a Cool World kind of genie.
He'd be the high genie. Okay, that's what he would be.
You said a high
He's like,
genie?
come
Come
on,
on now.
Aladdin, smoke some marijuana, Aladdin. Come on.
Actually, when you mentioned Cool Genie, you brought me flashback to a horrible '90s movie called Shazam.
Shazam.
Oh God.
Let's not. Yeah, let's
Look,
not bring that
we're
up.
not gonna talk about Shazam, okay?
Yeah, yeah. I think we can all agree that Shazam is a piece of shit and should never be mentioned ever again.
I
Well,
am Shazam.
I wouldn't say it's a piece of shit completely. I would say it had a good moral. It had a good moral out there, and don't get me wrong. I know Shaq
Is
is by
that
no means a good actor, but
is that the is that the
I like
movie
the film a
about the
bit.
kid and Shaq being like the genie?
Yes.
Yeah, I
The
remember,
genie
Yes, it
from the
is, yes.
boombox.
The,
I
the
remember
only
liking-
thing the
I
only
remember
thing that
liking
makes the only film worse than that is Shaq's other seminal work, one of my personal favorites, Steel.
Don't say it's Steel.
I remember.
Oh my
liking-
god.
I remember liking that movie Shazam as a kid. I bet if I go back and watch it now, I bet it's pretty bad.
Yeah, I remember. Like the only reason I know what that film is like is because when I was a kid, the daycare, well, the after school, it wasn't daycare, the after school care that I was in would play Shazam like once a month, and like they'd make us watch it. I fucking hate that film. I hate it with the passion of a thousand suns. Like if Shazam was a physical person, I would beat their ass so badly the police couldn't recognize the body.
I know how you feel, Mr. Redfuss. I feel the same way towards the Catwoman movie.
Hey,
You mean the one? Hey, man, that gave us Halle Berry in an S&M outfit. Take that back.
The main villain used overpowered cosmetic. What the fuck?
listen.
Look,
Let me
man,
say
that's
this.
all we needed.
I'm gonna say this about the Catwoman movie with Halle Berry. Let me say this, and this is not even. I'm not even gonna comment on. We all like the costume and stuff like that. But to me, I actually was intrigued by the story that they used for Catwoman in that movie. Like I actually did kind of like the story. It was, in other words, to me, it was kind of like a different spin on it.
Yeah, there are
wasn't-
multiple cat women. Like it's like a spirit type that goes into different women and shit. And you know,
Yeah, so
there's
to
different
me,
cat
I,
women.
I, I was like, now as far as the story they had and the villain, I wasn't that didn't it didn't vibe with me that well. But just the backstory, I was like, you know what, I kind of like this. I wish they would expand on it more. Now don't curse me out for this, but to me it to me was kind of similar to Black Panther in a sense.
Yeah,
Except I know Black
yeah.
Panther, it's with the herb and stuff like that, and it's passed down through royalty. But it's like, but to me, it kind of felt like that. So I like it for that reason, and of course the Halle Berry reason. But other than that,
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
it's Halle Berry, dude. But the only reason I'll say, look, the film was not good. The special effects were ass even back then. But I will say this much though, between Halle Berry and Michelle Pfeiffer, I got my Catwoman fix. I'm good. I don't because
Actually,
okay. Well, let me
Ella
ask you this. Since
Enchanted
we're
was not a
talking
good
about
Catwoman, but
actually,
okay,
talking about Catwoman, what do you guys?
let me ask you guys all a quick question regarding Catwoman. Who's your favorite out of Michelle Pfeiffer, Halle Berry?
Ella Enchanted.
I
I
gave you
know
three
that's not her
choices.
name, but I call her that. Just those two?
Just those three: Anne Hathaway, Halle Berry, or Michelle Pfeiffer. Who's your favorite Catwoman?
I like the Dark Knight Rises one.
I'm gonna have to go with Michelle Pfeiffer.
Said Michelle Pfeiffer. Red. Okay, my wife
Yeah.
said Michelle. What about you,
Uh,
Contrarian?
for me, the Dark Knight Rises one. I don't know what actress was that.
That's Anne
The,
That's
Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway.
uh, that
Yeah,
one.
that's Anne
Princess
Hathaway.
Diaries.
I call her Ella Enchanted because that's what she was in. That's like her most. That's her role that got her in acting.
Well, for me, that was for me the hottest one. Well, that's for me at least. And yes, I like Dark Knight Rises, even though it's considered a piece of shit by today's standards.
What about you, Perry? What's your favorite Catwoman out of those three?
Grey Delisle. Arkham games.
I said out of those three, Halle Berry,
But those are real girls.
Halle Berry, Anne Hathaway, or Michelle Pfeiffer.
Can I change my answer?
Said
I
Michelle
want to
Pfeiffer.
change my answer. Yeah, but I want to change my answer.
No,
Eartha
you
Kitt.
can't. That's a kid.
Eartha Kitt. She was one of the Catwomen in the
She was a- yeah,
1966
she was.
show. I'm going Eartha
Mhm.
Kitt. Yeah. How you like
More
that
like
now?
Eartha Cat.
She
Gosh.
was, or we could go Julie. We could go with Julie Newmar. She was the original Catwoman too in '66 too.
You gotta admit, the Adam West Batman baby considered bad, but he has some of the most retardedly awesome moments in Batman, like the surfing Joker.
Well, not just that. Look, let me tell you something. Like, here's the thing. Here's the thing I noticed about 1966 Batman. Right, Adam West in that. Adam West in 1966 was considered a very handsome man. Okay, and you'd see him get kidnapped as Bruce Wayne by Catwoman and Poison Ivy, and they'd be sitting there starting shit, and it's like they just want to fuck him. I mean, he used to be like, Robin, leave us alone for a few moments. We've got some business to deal with, Robin. Holy cow, Batman! I mean, Bruce. Yes, just give me about 30 to 45. Robin.
Everything you say gets overshadowed by the fucking surfing Joker. When
No,
I
man.
s-
Look, everyone wanted to fuck. Everyone wanted to fuck Bruce Wayne, aka Batman, in 1966 Batman. It makes sense now. Like that's why they were always tying him up. That's why, because they were like, yeah, I'm gonna tie him up, and he can't go anywhere, and I'm gonna take everyone, even the male, even Eddie wanted to fuck him.
So the writers just had a BDSM. They kind of had a BDSM fantasy going on.
Well,
Alright,
think about it. Anyone here seen Batman Brave and the Bold?
no,
No.
Okay, there's this episode in Batman Brave and the Bold where the Green Arrow and Batman are tied up in this pit by Catwoman, and like they're trading jabs, linguistic jabs with each other. And the Green Arrow's like, look, can we break out of this? And then you two, it's like, wait a second, you two are flirting. You're totally flirting. He's like, look, can we break out? And then you two can flirt all you want to, and I can get the hell out of here. like, I mean, isn't it obvious that Batman and Catwoman are always flirting with each other? I mean, isn't it obvious?
Yeah, at least a Poison Ivy and Catwoman are into Batman. That's kind of obvious.
No, not Poison Ivy. Poison Ivy's a lesbian, but Catwoman, Catwoman. Look,
Ivy just uses men. She doesn't like men.
Catwoman. Look, Catwoman. If Catwoman had her way, she would tie up Batman and take him back to her lair, and well, suffice it to say,
her lovely lair of an apartment.
Robin is too young to understand what she wants to do to Batman. But suffice it to say,
who is your favorite Catwoman out of those three? Michelle Pfeiffer, Anne Hathaway, or Halle Berry?
Okay, I'm gonna have to go with Michelle Pfeiffer just because her outfit was. Well, no, I take that back. It's not because of sexiness. Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman had the best transformation. Like, she went from being this bookish, nebbish, almost like waifish type woman to being this slightly crazy, dangerous woman. I mean, I liked it. It was so different. It was a different take on Catwoman.
Okay.
She completely transformed herself. And by the end of it, you actually feel kind of sorry for her. And that's something that's weird about villains is like a good villain, you have to be able to you have to be able to feel their pain from their, you have to be able to think about it from their point of view. Because that's the best villain because you can understand how they got to where they are. A bad villain, you're just like, I hate him because he's evil. But a good villain, you're like, well, I can understand why they're in the way they're in. I wouldn't go that way, but I mean, I can understand why they're the way they are.
What about you, Kenoshi? You got to pick one. Your reasoning doesn't matter. Just pick one.
I don't have one because I haven't seen any of those movies.
You haven't seen Batman Returns?
Batman Returns?
No, none of them.
What rock have you been living under, man?
A rock in a bikini bottom.
You haven't seen Batman Returns? Damn, dude.
Dr. Feelgood, what is your favorite movie? What's your favorite movie?
What's my favorite movie?
Yeah, mine is Ben Affleck's Daredevil.
Now, see, you're trolling. You are totally fucking trolling right now.
You're trolling.
I am completely 100% honest.
No, man, you're trolling. You're fucking with people, man.
I couldn't control myself.
We've already talked about my favorite movie. Overall, my favorite movie of all time, and I said overall, of course, it is James Cameron's Avatar. Overall, that's my favorite movie of all time.
Ugh.
Now, if I had to say one of my favorite, I would say action/psychological thrillers, I would have to say Inception. Love Inception. To me, that concept, if that shit became reality, I think I would be addicted. If that shit could really happen, I would probably be addicted to it.
Actually, Inception has a really good premise. Actually, like you can dive into the mind of other person.
Yeah, but you know what's so funny? Christopher Nolan said he left the ending the way he did. Dude, for years, people were like, there's going to be a sequel, right? Because we never got to see whether or not was all that really just a dream? Or was it actually happening in the end? And it was crazy. People were going nuts about what the hell happened because of that ending. But then he finally explained, like, no, the purpose of it was to be like, it shouldn't matter whether he's dreaming or not. He's where he wants to be, which is back home.
Yeah,
and I think like even whoever did it, I think was it Paramount or 20th Century Fox, I forget who did it, but they actually tossed him a lot of money to do another one. He said, "No, I'm not going to do it," because he doesn't want to ruin it. And I agree with that. I wish more people did that with their films. Like, hey, you had a good thing, don't ruin it. Don't.
Yeah, I mean Marlon Wayne's character
Hello.
in Scary Movie 2, when he's getting special flavors in the car at the end. Don't fuck it up. No. He's sleeping with the poltergeist, and she wants to take the bag off already. He's like, no, don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up. Look, don't fuck it up. I mean, Steven Spielberg fucked up his perfect streak with Indiana Jones.
No,
I mean, it was like a perfect trilogy, and then he made Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and it was like, why'd you fuck it up, man? He just left it alone. It would have been perfect.
It's like Mass Effect and drama. It's like they already dug themselves a hole with Mass Effect 3. Why create a future creator?
Why you fuck it up? Yeah. That's all. That's my only question. Don't fuck it up.
Apparently there's supposed to be like massive update. Well, it's like, you know what? They already messed up. It's over. It's too late. It's too
Man,
late.
leave Ass Effect alone. It's not that bad.
No, but to be honest, I'm going to say my favorite film of all time, but it is kind of a really underrated film, Treasure Planet, Disney's Treasure Planet.
No, that's a good film. I mean, it's a retelling of Treasure Island, but I mean, you know, Treasure Island is one of the classics of literature. Robert Louis Stevenson. It's a great film.
And Aladdin, because it's like the first movie I ever saw, so I have nostalgia towards Aladdin.
Look, it's a good film. I love it. I have to say my favorite film of all time, hands down, no questions asked, is The Godfather, Part 1. I love that film. I can quote major parts of that film. I love that film so goddamn much.
But let's be honest, Mr. Refa. We all know what the best movie of all time is: Dragon Ball Evolution.
See, now I know you're fucking with people.
That's terrible, man. That's terrible.
That's not even a good joke because that movie is so bad.
So mad. Look, hey, I'm gonna match what he said. Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, and I think Mr. T would agree with me. Shout out to him. My guilty pleasure in movies, believe it or not, I have a couple. One is Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, I love that film.
And I used to watch the film like every day, literally every day when I was younger. And two, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
With Sean Connery. Sorry,
Yeah.
Sir Sean Connery.
Mm-hmm. So, I know those movies are corny. I know that, but those are my
Big
guilty
Trouble in
pleasures.
Little China isn't corny. I mean, it's got man, you've got Kurt Russell doing his best impression of John Wayne. It's like, what's going on here, Wang? Wang, what's going on here?
Right.
You know what the great thing about Big Trouble in Little China is that Jack Burton doesn't even realize he's not the main character of the film. He doesn't get it. He thinks he's the hero. He thinks he's the main character. It's so funny. And it has the best version of Raiden we've ever seen. So good. What's going on here, Wang? God damn it, someone tell me what's going on.
Yeah, but those two movies, man, I have to say, like, they get me. They get me. Another guilty pleasure, and this is one of the old school comedies. Has anyone in here ever seen Porky's?
Oh, that's a great film.
Porky's is the shit to me.
It's got a young Kim Cattrall in it, and this guy is going with her, and when she reaches the top of the mountain, she makes a lot of noise. Everyone in the school knows that she is, reaching the top of that mountain.
No,
it's great. It's a great film.
The one that got to me, I forget which movie it was, because there's three of them. But remember when they saw that girl on the side of the road and went to go look at her at night, and then Meat was like, I'm gonna go ahead and talk to her. She turned and she was like a butterface. His friends like left his ass behind.
He was
I
like,
was like,
well,
oh man, they left his ass behind to talk to this girl.
one of my favorite jokes is the one where one of the dudes in Porky's sticks his dick through the hole in the wall in the girl's
Oh
bathroom,
no.
and the girl's coach grabs it. And she's like, I want all the young men to line up and pull down their pants so I can identify the offending member. And the principal's trying to delicately explain why he can't do this. He's like, can we call it the tallywhacker? And everyone's like, all the dudes start listening. Like, it's like, we cannot have the young men pull down their pants and for you to identify the offending Sorry, like everyone thinks American Pie did the R-rated teen comedy first,
No,
but Porky's did it first. And Porky's was better in my opinion because Porky's didn't rely on gross out humor to the point that these other films did.
To me, Porky's was more realistic humor in a sense. It really was.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of the Jackass the movie?
They're funny. I mean,
They're
I watched
funny,
all
but
of them.
but to me, they're a little over the top though. Like Porky's, when you watch Porky's, you know this is some shit you would actually do if you hadn't already done it. These things can happen. American Pie, some of that stuff can happen. Some of it only happens to probably.
Yeah, but no one is fucking about it. I'm sorry.
And
No one
and
is
the
fucking about it.
and the Hangover trilogy. Trilogy, I mean movies.
The first film was good. The second film was aight. The third film was ugh.
A waste. Yeah. To me, they should have left it with the first one because that was awesome. And the second one, like you said, it was good, but to me, you shouldn't try to capitalize on that because this movie has one premise. You got too drunk to remember what happened, and drunk and or high, and to figure out what happened because you lost your friend or whatever, or some really bad things did happen. But trying to repeat that success on that same premise, come on, man. It's like even when you're watching the movies, you're like, okay, I know something's gonna happen. They're gonna lose someone, or they're gonna lose something that's important to someone. And to me, they just shouldn't have done it. Like, I have all three movies. I enjoy them all, but even when I watched the third one, I was like, it was okay. If I had the choice, I wouldn't do it again.
Actually, I noticed. I kind of noticed something. How you know that doing movie sequels is a little more harder than doing game sequels? Like with movie sequels, they have a more larger chance to fail compared to video game sequels.
I won't go that far. I would say that the thing about a sequel is this. Generally speaking, when you're doing a new project, the reason your project manages to reach a certain height and manage to do certain things is because people have passion for it. They do a lot of things that they would not normally do because they have a passion for what they're doing. But the thing is like when you introduce sequels, people normally do sequels because they're trying to make more money from whatever it is. And I mean, look, I'm someone who owns a business. I'm not averse to people making money, but like a lot of sequels, there's not more story to tell. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Did we really need to have a Hangover 2? I mean, it was warranted. It was fun. I had fun watching it, but did we really need it?
Well, Fast and the Furious has like 7 sequels already, so.
Oh god, yeah, but that's about money, dude. Because Vin Diesel gets the gross over the net. So basically, he gets the net over the gross. So basically, every time one of those movies is made, Vin Diesel's getting buku cash. Buku. That's a lot of. Buku means a lot. It's buku money. Vin Diesel getting paid. Holler, holler, dollar bill, y'all.
I would say this regarding the Fast and Furious franchise. I've seen all the movies. I plan on seeing the last one.
You mean the next one?
Well, it's supposed to be the last one. Seriously,
You mean the next one, right?
the last. Anyway, I would say this regarding Fast and Furious. I wish I really do want. I've enjoyed the type of automobile espionage they've been doing over the last 6 movies or so. But I
Yeah.
will say I want them to go back to the roots of the first one, where it was just about racing. I don't care if you put some over the top drama on top of it, but still, I want to be about winning races, not
What's
using
wrong with
cars,
you, Doc? Look,
not
it's not
not
about
using
races.
cars.
It's about
I mean,
family.
shut up.
I'm
I
not.
mean,
We family, bro.
I mean, but if like me, I have a passion for cars. I love cars, and to me, with knowing that the first one was the only one that was literally about racing, and like
Well, the second one was about racing too,
no, the second one had
but no
racing
one
in
liked
it, but I mean, but it was still mostly they were doing it as a job for the police or whatever. The first one was purely about like, hey, it was racing. There's some drug shit on the side, but it's still about, hey, we're trying to win races and win cars and stuff like that. And I want them to take it back to that because I've enjoyed the stunts. Overall, Fast Five was my favorite. That may sound dumb to people, but it
it.
was.
Was that the
But
one where they had where they took where they
safe,
heist
yeah,
the safe and they dragged it? Yeah, that was a pretty cool action sequence. I mean,
yeah,
I can't get mad at how they shoot their car action sequences because for the most part it's a lot of practical special effects. In any film nowadays that does practical special effects over just we'll just fix it in post with CGI. I can't get mad at it.
yeah. So I just want them if they do another one after 8. I want them to take it. I really want to take it back to the roots. Well, hey, just go back to racing. I don't care if you piss off some drug dealer, you screw someone's wife by accident. I don't care, but take it back to just hey, you maybe you lost the race, you lost your car, you're trying to win it back, but take it back where the root of the film is racing. I don't care what genre you put on it, but racing needs to be the focus of it, not government espionage. I mean, because that's what the last 6 films have been about. It's like the government needs you to do this, and for some reason they need the best drivers in the world to do it.
Yeah, and here's the
It's
sad
getting
thing:
old.
they aren't even the best drivers in the world. Because I'll tell you some better car action I've seen: the Transporter series, not the latest one where they got rid of Jason
No,
Statham. The
only
first
I would
two.
say not even the first two. The first two were good. They're worth mentioning, but to me, the first Transporter was the best one. The second one had some over the top action, but not completely. But the first one to me was almost completely realistic.
Bad. Yeah, it was. I mean, because just a lot of practical special effects. And I don't care what anyone says. Jason Statham. Oh my God, that dude looks like he murdered somebody.
And I'm sorry, but to me, I think still one of the most iconic scenes of all time across all action films was when that dude knocked on the damn door and kicked it down the moment someone looked through it. Like, to
Yeah,
me,
I mean,
I would never forget that scene. It is burned into my brain. It's not going anywhere. Now, another great driver I would say is worth mentioning, Jason Bourne. That first Bourne movie,
yeah.
he
I
drove the
The,
like
hell.
the,
Jason
the
Bourne.
Born Identity.
Yeah, he drove the
Yeah,
hell out of that Mini Cooper. I'm sorry, he drove the
yeah.
shit out of it.
I like Jason Bourne, but for some reason, like Matt Damon. The one thing about Matt Damon that kind of destroys it for me is that, and I guess this has changed because, like, I remember watching Total Recall when I was a kid, and I was like, man, these are some awesome fight scenes. But as I got older, I'm like, these are some shit fight scenes. But you look at someone like Jason Statham, this motherfucker actually looks like he killed somebody. Like, if someone said, Jason Statham killed somebody with bare hands, I'd be like, yeah, I believe it. I believe it.
Now,
He looks
regarding
dangerous.
regarding Jason Statham, has anyone seen that new Mechanic movie that came out recently, The Mechanic 2 or whatever, or
Yeah, I
Resurrection?
saw it. I saw
So,
it. It had Jessica Alba in it, and that's about all I can say about it.
oh damn! I saw the first one, I liked it, and I was like, why'd you guys make a second one? I
Cut
would say
money.
this. I think the one movie that kind of, and of course I know he's still doing well, but I think his worst movie for me was Crank 2.
Really? You didn't like Chev Chelov's uh, uh,
The whole
shocking his heart
the,
and stick
the
alive?
the whole King Kong fight scene I'm like, what director thought this was a good thing to put in this movie? They literally did they actually took a live action film and put a King Kong almost similar to like a rubber suit fight moment in this movie. It felt so out of place, and it was in slow motion. And even I'm sitting in the theater, I'm like, who thought this literally made sense in the film? Even from a comical standpoint, I was not laughing.
Well, I mean, like, here's the thing. Crank is one of those dumb action films that you just want to see shit. You want to see people die. You want to see people get the shit kicked out of them. And it has that, but I mean, it never had a deep story. And I forgive it because I actually I'm one of those people I'll forgive Jason Statham, and it's horrible because normally I'm hard on everyone else, but Jason Statham has a special place in my heart because he just beats the shit out of people. It's ridiculous.
Well, I do like him in Expendables. Expendables is pretty good. I have all those. I enjoy the Expendables a lot, and his character I think is pretty good in Expendables.
Yeah,
But
But didn't he spend?
did anyone watch that Transporter TV show? I heard it was garbage.
yeah. Thing about the Transporter is that it's at its best when the Transporter doesn't work if you don't have Jason Statham in it. You know what I mean?
I can see that.
Like, no Jason Statham, don't have a good Transporter because Jason Statham is the Transporter. It's like some people have a role. It's like at this point, it's really hard for what's his name? Daniel Craig to do anything else because he's been James Bond for so damn long, you know.
Well, they are making a sequel to The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Finally.
Yeah, I know.
Finally. And
I hope it's good.
I actually did enjoy the first film, so I'm looking forward to the second one. Because
that was a hard film to watch. I mean, not because it wasn't a good film, but because just like the revenge scenes and how she gets revenge on certain people. I'm like,
oh yeah.
That's
talking
my
about
asshole is puckering right now.
talking about revenge. Have you guys seen Kill Bill 1 and 2?
Yes, I love it.
I love Kill Bill. Now I like
Those
the
movies
first
are
one
awesome.
better. I like the first one better. But I love Kill Bill. I'm a big Tarantino fan. A lot of
Me
people,
too.
some people like, man, I don't like his. It's like you have to like his style. He's an acquired taste, but to
Yep.
me, Tarantino is the shit. Pulp Fiction will live on as one of the best cult favorites worldwide. Kill Bill is pretty good. I mean, I'm sorry.
A Western samurai movie.
And then of course Django.
Yep, Django,
Love Django.
Jackie Brown.
Now I'm not. Now I do like Death Proof, but what was the other one that it came with? Oh, the Grindhouse set.
Planet. Forget it. It was like people didn't like Death Proof, but like the thing about to me, Death Proof showcased Tarantino at his best because the thing you have to realize about Tarantino is that in his films, he basically Tarantino does really good dialogue. Like he can have people talking about normal, boring shit, and you're invested in it because he makes you watch the opening of Pulp Fiction. It's like these people are talking about what cheeseburgers are in the Netherlands or some shit, and then they go and it's just great dialogue. But Death Proof, you have all this dialogue that makes you want to care about these characters, and then a horrifically violent car accident. Ugh.
Yeah, old girl leg kind of just separated from the knee. I was like,
yeah, it was some fucked up shit, man.
Oh man, but yeah, Tarantino, I would encourage anyone to.
Doctor, I have a question for you. I always want to. Do you frequent internet forums a lot?
Yeah, I wouldn't say a lot, but I do at times. Why?
No, it is mostly what are your thoughts mostly about internet forums in general?
You said what are my talks mostly like?
No, your thought. What do you think about internet forums mostly?
Are you talking about in regards to movies or just overall?
Over the movies and games and geek stuff like that.
I like the forums. I give the
I think
forums a
they're
little more
confusing
credit.
to read.
I give the forums a little more credit than I do official review sites. I would say that.
I don't
I
like
think
forum rants.
forums.
At a base level, I get lost.
Like I agree with you
Yeah.
there, but to me, I don't like the layouts. But I will
The
say
layouts
that.
are so bad.
But I
Like
do think you come across people you can relate with in forums more so than you do at a review site.
I just
Actually,
can't I just can't do it because what happens that you wind up listening to it and you're because the thing is that most people who frequent forums are in the minority of the minority. Because the average people who like things, they aren't going to take time to go on a forum and tell people how they feel about it. They're just gonna follow it. They like it, they're gonna follow it. Like
The only
they aren't
time I
gonna.
try to actually read through a forum is when I have a tech problem or I have a question about a technical product.
yeah, because I
That's about it.
I
I
said
don't
it
do it
because
like I won't go like, oh, I want to go and talk about this subject on a forum. I just do that
Yeah,
Twitter or Google or Tumblr
I
or
just
YouTube.
asked because I find forums so toxic that is kind they are kind of part of of a problem I had with not enjoying stuff because of how toxic they can get.
that's why I don't go. That's why I would advise people if you want to be happy, don't go to forums.
The loud
You'll be a lot
minority.
happier. Yeah, because they're the minority of the minority. Because the average people aren't even gonna be. They're like, well, so and so, this game sucks because it does this, 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 and this. The average person who likes that game, even if they notice flaws, they're not gonna go on a forum and like do a big diatribe about how they don't like it.
Or it can get worse actually. They do a lot of posts or just shitting on the game. I saw a post just shitting over Fire Emblem Face yesterday. A really hardcore shitting on Fire Emblem Face, and I was like, damn, Fire Emblem. I never knew Fire Emblem Face was that hated.
Yeah, but that's the thing you have to keep in mind. It's the minority of the minority because average people aren't going. The average consumer is not going on a website.
Ooh, hold on, can I get over there?
Oh, but that was why I asked the question. Now we can stay on topic.
All right.
Actually, what happened with Dr. Feelgood?
I don't know.
Actually, there's some movies like I seen that I kind of. What are your guys' thought on the Electra movie?
It was unnecessary.
Because I haven't seen that movie, but I do hear a lot of crap for it. Like it gets compared with Catwoman as the worst superhero movie adaptation. Even through that prize for me is reserved for the god awful Spider-Man 3.
Well, here's what I'll say about Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 3 was not a good movie. There were some really good ideas in it. The execution was not good.
This is just the reason Spider-Man movies was 3 was so bad because they jumbled a lot of ideas into they tried to fit way too many crap on that movie. Like they had 3 villains.
Well,
You build an
originally,
origin story into a 40
yeah,
hour and 45-minute film.
originally it was supposed to have Sandman and the Vulture. But then Sony popped in and they were like, well, we bought the rights to this. We hold the rights to it. So we're going to add Venom. And it's like they got Eric Foreman will be Venom. Sorry, Topher Grace. But, I mean, come on. He's Eric Foreman. Forever he'll be Eric Foreman. They got Eric Foreman to be Venom. And it's like, you can't even get a good... Really? Eric Foreman?
Oh, Mr. Refa, now when you mention now you jumble my memory what I wanted to ask you guys from the beginning. Have Sony Animation Studios ever done a good film?
Not that I can
I'll
remember.
have to look up a list real quick. Hold on.
Not that I can remember. I mean, really, these days it's either Imagination or DreamWorks or Pixar.
Every
that's
time
who-
every time I see Sony animation on a movie, it is like, oh God, I know this movie is going to be horrible. Believe me, Sony has produced some of the worst animated movies I ever seen.
I like a couple of them. Hotel Transylvania was okay, and
Uh,
Call of Chance of
yeah,
Meatballs was fun.
Yeah, I like
yeah.
Cloudy
Cloudy,
Balls.
The sequels
I did like
were. I haven't watched the sequels because those look
didn't they do
more like straight to
Megamind?
VHS, not
Didn't they do?
theater.
Didn't they do
But
Megamind?
You say Megamind? Let me check.
no,
that was DreamWorks.
no, I don't think the
Oh,
Mega
sorry.
That's a
Man is from
DreamWorks film.
Sony.
Now they did do Hotel Transylvania, which is awesome.
Also,
Yeah, 'cause that's
Transylvania is
so-
awesome.
That's Tartakovsky's work,
And
actually. So.
and then they
Yeah.
also they did Smurfs and Smurfs too, but they also did one more that I like, and I
Ugh.
really like this one. But Arthur Christmas was pretty good.
Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
mean,
Well, they didn't
like,
make it. They just put it in America. That was not Aardman. Was it Aardman? I think
Oh.
it was Aardman who made
Yeah,
Arthur
you're right.
Christmas.
They didn't make it. They're just the ones that
It
kind of.
wasn't Sony Studios themselves, but I think it was Aardman in England, and Sony just brought it over.
Now I also like Open Season.
Yeah, it is Aardman.
yeah, Open
Yeah, I like
Season
that.
was fun.
Open Season was fine. I cannot get over that first scene of the first movie, of course, where that dude was just driving in his truck. You know, the hunter. He seen the deer on the side of the road and literally went off road to flatten his ass, and he had no hesitation doing that. I said, "What in the? Did he just really casually run this deer's ass over and and not even blink? He just ran his ass over like it was nothing." Ah, man. Now,
Actually,
I would tell you what I
it's
do like though.
talk,
Illumination, Illumination, they make some great shit.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you know,
the
They created
Speakle
the
I mean, I
movie
actually-
Minions,
is
so they
awesome.
have to.
well, I mean, okay,
They
the
do
minions
make some
themselves
amazing.
are
They do make
annoying,
some
but
good
I
films.
like.
But still.
Yeah, but I actually did like the first.
Despicable Me. Oh, it was really good.
I like.
It was surprisingly
I
touching.
like.
But then
Yeah, I like
you
the
know,
ones that focus on on Steve Carell's character Gru, but I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't really like the minions were a waste of time in my opinion.
Yes, I
But
hate the Minions.
but you know what's so funny though, and I looked this up.
they're the rabbits of the movie world. Ow!
But Illumination was started
People
by
forget that
someone.
Despicable Me that Gru's a character because of the minions, and people forget Rayman's a character because of the rat.
But
Yeah,
the funny thing is, Illumination was actually started by someone that used to work for 20th Century Fox and I think NBC or whatever, and he left them to start his own company. And of course, you guys know the Minions made over $1 billion.
Mhm.
Like,
I have to see what else because I know it made something.
but the Minions, Despicable Me, I even like The Secret Life of Pets.
I like
It was pretty
Despicable Me.
good.
yeah.
I
Seems like
didn't
Pets was actually a good film. Yeah.
Never got a chance to see
Secret
that.
Life of Pets is Are you guys going to see the Boss Baby the movie?
My
No.
wife is actually, we
No.
intend on seeing that this week. Boss Baby.
Because my cousins want to see the movie, and I'm thinking like going to see it with them. Like, I think the commercials doesn't grab me that much, but it doesn't hurt to give it a try.
Yeah, I did not watch that film. I was not interested in it. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see it this week. So
Some people say it's like the Rugrats, but more comedy-ish.
From what I've heard,
all I think about is the Wayans brothers' Little Man, but just like a different premise.
like from what I heard from the people who have seen it, what they show you in the little commercials, like the trailer, is not what the movie's really about. So they kind of fool you a little bit. But I mean, you know,
Which trailer?
the first one or the second one. I mean, the trailers didn't change that much between the two. They wanted to show people. So
Oh, I finally remember something. I want to ask Dr. Feelgood. Has there ever been a good video game adaptation movie?
Not that I can think of.
But what movie came close to being a good? Because even an animated one, like the Ratchet and Clank movie, was complete ass.
I haven't seen that yet. I need to watch it on Netflix.
I can't think of a good. I mean, there are movies that have plot. The only movies that I can think of that had good, that were closest to being a good video game adaptation are movies that had plots that were similar to a video game's plot, but like are very video game like, but aren't exactly video game movies. For example, The Last Starfighter is kind of tangentially about video games, but it's not based on a video game, which kind of helps it a little bit, in my opinion.
Do you remember, Mr. Reva? Do you remember that awesome classic video game movie, Alone in the Dark?
Well, anything from Uwe Boll does not count. I'm sorry. Uwe Boll does not. I think we can all agree that Uwe Boll films, like, no one's gonna defend a Uwe except for Postal. Postal is a good video game movie. Postal is, and that was made by Uwe Boll. Surprisingly, it was surprisingly good.
Did you remember when Uwe Boll have a boxing match with all of his critics?
And he beat the shit out of him because Uwe Boll was an amateur boxer when he was a young man. So that pays. Don't talk shit unless you can back it up. That's the lesson you need to learn. No, and I mean that's the reason why. I mean that's not the reason why, but that's the reason why that I took Muay Thai when I was a little kid, because if someone started some shit, I could defend myself.
Actually, that's great. That's amazing.
Yeah, he beat the shit out of his critics. It was hilarious because they televised it, and like these fat guys who go on these forums and talk all this shit, and he beat like this kid, this dude, This fat dude was crying at the end of the match. He was breathing hard and crying. It was so funny. This is the only time where I'm like, go, Uwe Boll, go.
well, Mr. Refahidi said, if you're going to talk shit, why don't you say it to my face? And that's why he had the boxing match.
No, he had the boxing match because he was like, look, you want to say something? I mean, look, you wouldn't say that shit to my face, and like, because people say all types of mean shit when they have the anonymity of the internet, but when they got to see you in person, then they're like, hey, how's it going?
Well, you know what though? No, there was actually one instance, and this is all in the movie, of course. I'm not sure if you guys have seen Cloud Atlas, but
that one was terrible.
I do. I love Cloud Atlas, man.
Leave the Wachowski siblings alone.
I would say that scene where that critic had slammed Tom Hanks' character's book and insulted him at their party.
What gets thrown out the window?
And he threw that critic's ass out the window and killed him immediately. Like, it was instant. And
that was the Wachowski siblings channeling their hate for critics.
Hey, I will say this. Okay, I think I may have said this in one like a recent podcast a few months back, but I really do think the Wachowskis. I'm not saying everything they do is gold. They are an acquired taste, in my opinion. But I think moreover, they're just misunderstood. Like, people, like, I know people that say they can't stand, like, the Cloud Atlas. But I've actually looked up a few reviews by certain critics that actually gave it like a bad grade, and they're like, I have to admit, I didn't give this movie a shot because I didn't understand what the hell was going on. But the more and more they watched it, even one of them said, to me, this is going to go down to one of the greatest cult hits and movies of all time. Because if you really watch it, there's a lot there, but you can't just watch it and not know what the hell's going on, just engrade on that. It's like you really have to pay attention and know what's going on. But because of that...
No, I mean, I got the premise of the movie. It has something to do with... incarnation and something to do with how a lot of these characters were intertwined a spiritual lineage. But it's just it's just the way it was all put together.
Here's the thing you have to understand about the Wachowskis, okay? The Wachowskis, in my opinion, because I like their films too, but the Wachowski siblings are like the Wachowskis are like low rent. They're like the low rent Coen brothers. Okay, that's essentially what they kind of are. Who's breathing so hard? What?
It's not me.
Someone's breathing hard, like they've been working out, but
But it's not me either.
no, anyway, someone's breathing hard. Like I don't know, man. But anyway, but you can't hear that.
Yeah,
I hear it. I
it.
just don't know who it is.
Yeah, I don't know who it is.
I hear it.
Someone's breathing hard, like they've been working out or some shit. I don't
Well,
know.
maybe my nose breathing because I'm kind of asthmatic.
Okay, I was wondering. I was like, damn, what's? Sit down. Okay, anyway, but the Wachowski siblings are like the low rent. They're kind of like the low rent Coen brothers, and like the thing is like they are an acquired taste. And when they make a really good movie, you know it. But when they make a really shit movie, you also know that too. It's kind of like the flaw of the Wachowskis is that like it's like you don't know which Wachowskis you're getting sometimes. Am I getting the good Wachowskis or am I getting the shit Wachowskis? I don't know. Because like when they're good, they're good. But when they're not good, like they really aren't good. So it's like
They're U-boat levels of bad.
well, no, it's just like okay, like the first Matrix, the Wachowskis were good. That movie they finished where like it's widely acknowledged as being one of the best films they've ever worked on. I forget the title of it, but it was really fucking good.
Is it bad if I like the entire Matrix trilogy?
No, the first Matrix was good. The second Matrix was all right. The third Matrix was oh god,
It could have been better.
it could have been way
I do like
better.
I do like all Matrix movies.
I like them all, but to me, the first one opened the door, and you could just see the potential there. Like, oh man, I hope they really draw this shit out. The second one was good, but third one it was like, okay, you basically turned this into like some kind of comic book fight, and you could have done more than that. They really could have.
It was like Dragon Ball Z, but done badly. That's what that second Matrix was like. It was a shitty Dragon Ball Z fight. I mean, the third one. The second one was good, but I mean, the thing is like what people wanted to see, they didn't want to do because the Matrix, like the Wachowskis, tried to get all artsy fartsy with their messaging, and it's like you aren't that good. You aren't like you're not the Coen brothers. You're like you're not the Coen brothers. You're the low rent Coen brothers. You can't do artsy fartsy like that. That's not your thing. You know, when you were doing The Matrix was a nice action movie, right? And then they tried to get all artsy with it with The Matrix 3, where The Matrix 2 also a really artsy movie. But then they tried to, like I said, they tried to get all artsy with it. And some shit you gotta keep it low tech, lo-fi. You can't go all artsy.
Yeah, there's a different there's different ways you can make a movie.
I mean, there's some directors who can go artsy and give you a deep message, but also have it be a good film. But the Wachowskis, they try so hard. They try so hard. Like Jupiter Ascending, they try so hard, and they just fail so hard.
Doctor, Doctor, I want to ask you something. What do you think about the complaints of the Splatoon test fire? The Splatoon 2 does not change. It's practically Splatoon 1 just repackaged. Do you think that holds some water?
No, I don't think it's Splatoon 1 repackaged. They changed up a lot of stuff. They added more animation, so they can say that all they want. But at the end of the day, first of all, it's a new IP. And this is the second game in the new IP. The people that say that, they're the same folks that have purchased 6 Call of Duties in the last 6 years.
Yeah, because they're mostly complaining that it's the same old shit.
And let's keep it real. If they had completely changed the game, if they had completely changed the game entirely, like from like completely different from this game to the next game, people would be pissed because they'd be like, this is nothing. This has nothing in common with the first Splatoon.
But you can't do that with a game that built its entire community on an online multiplayer game. I mean, you could.
Exactly.
Here's the thing I have with that logic though. They say that they didn't change much and it's more the same. Okay, so let me ask you a question. What makes Splatoon popular?
The art design,
The
art
how
style,
the multiplayer was done.
the fact that it's not bullets, it's ink, and
The
it was a
simplicity.
unique game compared to all of the shooters out there. So you're telling me that you expecting to change something that is drastically different from everything else out there, which is why it became popular in the first place. It sounds to me you're complaining because now it's not Call of Duty.
Yeah, that's basically what it sounds like to me. Because I mean, the thing is, like, if it
Yeah,
was like
because
Call of Duty, no one would want to play it. You
yeah,
know what I
because
mean?
I even saw a comment that now people are banking on Mario Odyssey because supposedly after seeing the test fire, see there's the same old shit. They says Splatoon 2 might suck.
So let me
Splatoon 2
ask
is
you.
gonna move. I'm gonna say this. Splatoon 2 is gonna move at least 3 to 4 million units automatically. And let me tell
Let
you
me
who's
ask you.
gonna buy it. The Japanese crowd is going to buy the hell out of this game. The only ones that are probably bitching about it and saying this are the American crowd because they're the ones that got on this test fire and they were playing with these Japanese people. These people are beasts at this game. You can't bring your Call of Duty bullshit to Splatoon. They will murder
Nope.
your ass.
Yeah,
Yep.
Splatoon 1 at least in like in the later month was mostly when I play online it was mostly Japanese people.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, Splatoon is going to do well because the first Splatoon did
And
well. I
I got
mean, it's
owned,
just
and me and my friends team got owned by a whole Japanese team. Like we couldn't even move without getting killed.
well, I didn't have that experience, but I mean, Splatoon is going to do well. I mean, regardless of what these jackaloons want to call it, Splatoon is going to do well. So
It's just that
they need to get over it.
people are setting their expectations way too high with the Switch announcement games.
No, I mean,
Well,
look, it's not a hot
yeah.
look. Listen, Splatoon is a really great game. This game, even if the mechanics were exactly the same, as long as they maintain, maybe have fix a few of the balancing issues, maybe add some new weapons, which is what they've
Which you
done.
can already see in how the rollers, you can't jump and splat the same way you can in Splatoon 1. Thank
Yeah,
God.
I mean, you know, they're changing they're changing some of the mechanics. They're adding,
I'm
they're changing
sad.
how. Can I finish? They're
Oh,
changing
sorry.
how they're changing how some of the how some of the how some of the weapons they've changed how some of the weapons work. So, like, different weapons are working differently than they did in other games. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know what these people are whining about. I mean,
Plus,
it's
there's a whole
ridiculous.
different way of changing your gear loadout. Instead of it's a random roll as usual. But now, shit! Now there's a new sea urchin named Merch, the sea urch, who takes your abilities. Like if you want, say, like strength up, he can take it off a gear that you don't use or that you just don't like the look of, and you can store it up. And if you get like enough strength, like take off enough strength abilities, you can then add that to another piece of gear.
Yeah.
Through
So I
spikes.
mean,
So like
yeah, they basically they
I
refined the
think what
game.
most people are afraid of when they say it's too much like the Splatoon is that they're afraid the bad things are to come back, like the map rotation and not being able to switch your weapons between matches instead of and having to go all the way back.
But see,
But I
Yeah,
would
but there's no
say
evidence of that.
that's a wait and see approach because that
No,
again this is a test fire.
they they mostly said it's
Um,
because they think the game's a rehash.
so what if it's a rehash?
Well,
Okay,
F
let me.
them, you know.
I have a question. Is Last of Us remastered a rehash? Is that a rehash?
Yeah.
yeah.
What about Modern Warfare remastered? That's not even a rehash. That's simply taking an old game and pushing the button to do an upres. It had nothing new added to it, just new textures. And you people bought that shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
What about Uncharted 4? Did it change up the formula from Uncharted 3, 2, and 1? Did it change up anything?
No.
Yeah. I mean, like here's the thing. Like for me, I don't really look, the multiplayer for Splatoon was pretty great in my opinion. I did the test fire. I did well. My team wasn't destroyed, but I mean, as a matter of fact, I won my thing. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, people are just trying to. I mean, like really, if they want to add some shit, give us a longer single player. That'd be worth it.
I'm
I
Yeah.
sad. I'm sad that they took out my favorite weapon in Splatoon 1, the bucket.
Well, how do you know that?
No,
Well,
it's
how
in
do you know they
there.
took it out?
It's in there. If you
How do you
look
know
How
at
do you
the
know they took it
screenshots
out?
for Hump Park, I think it's called, you can see people using Inklings using the bucket and the Gatling.
Oh
Here's
yeah, so
Yeah.
they're back. Thank God.
here's what I would say to the
Yeah.
naysayers out there. You don't know shit because all they giving you is a test fire. Just like when they gave us Zelda at E3, they gave us less than 2% of the whole game. And
Remember
you
when
guys,
everyone said that the new Zelda wouldn't have NPCs?
yeah, and see this
Yeah.
thing. Nintendo brought this game and said this is less than like 2% of the whole game. And if you look at this game now, if you played it, you're like, oh damn, I had no idea it would have this much going on in it. Guys, this thing was actually less than a beta because they only gave you access to 4 different weapons, and they were the
It's the
basic of
demo they've been
every different.
showing at every Switch event. Like,
Yeah,
that's all it is.
so it's like, look, you can't judge an entire final release on a on something that's even lesser than an alpha.
Exactly. I mean, not
They
even an
gave you
alpha. It's
2 levels.
literally it's a sample area that they made just for display purposes. It's a demo. Okay, you're basing something on a in-store demo. Like back in the day, remember you'd have in-store demos for games, and it would just be like a little
Oh
bit of the game.
yes, yes,
That's
I
basically
remember.
what people are like. Oh my god, I can judge the entire game from literally 2%
But
of the title.
another complaint I seen about the Splatoon 2 is that it doesn't feel like a graphical update from the first one, supposedly for people.
Okay, look at Breath of the Wild on the Wii U as opposed to the Switch. Can you really notice a huge difference in the going from 720p to 900p? No. Splatoon was a 720p 60 frames per second lock game. With the art style that they use, you wouldn't see much difference going to 1080p. You're not going to see the difference. We're talking about damn squids looking like they from Nickelodeon Guts that transform into
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah, I
There
mean,
is
it's
no
kind of
way
like
you're going
back
to see
in
a
the day.
difference.
Kind of like back in the day. You're not gonna see when you're going from HD to more HD. You're not gonna see that much of a boost. You're just not, okay? Unless you're buying this shit on PC. I mean, unless you have a PC, you're spending huge amounts of money on the shit. Then God bless you. But generally
But
speaking, that's not going to be the
I
case.
don't understand something. How do people notice when something doesn't look as graphically as does people pay attention to that much detail in a game?
No, they're just
Like,
being full of shit.
because to be honest, when I play a game, like when I play Mario 3D World, I wasn't paying attention if it looks better than Galaxy or not. I was just playing the damn game and enjoying it.
Well, I mean, isn't that most of us?
And I just see these people say, "Oh, it does not look next gen, or it does not. The graphic it didn't have that graphical upgrade from the first one," and be like, "Who the fuck cares?"
Look,
Like,
man, let them. These people have been trying to find ways to bring down Nintendo and the Switch ever since before the thing even launched, and they have failed. Look, if you don't like the way Splatoon 2 looks, hey, guess what? And if you have a Switch, don't buy it. The global test fire didn't cost you a dime. It was free. If you don't like it, guess what? You know what to
Don't
expect
buy
from
it.
2%
Yeah.
of the game. Don't buy it. I'm not mad at you. I don't even care. Just don't
Yeah.
buy it.
I
I'm
mean,
going to
there's
buy
tons of
it day
games.
one.
Yeah, there are tons of games that have stuff has come out, and I'm like, I'm not getting Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Okay, it's a principle thing for me because they're adding shit that should have been
The
in the
original
single
game.
player.
And
It
guess
should have been
what?
in the Wii U version. I'm not
And,
buying the shit.
and guess what? I bought Snake Pass, people. Yes, the game that's not even
It's still
in
fine.
1080p on the PS4 and not even in 900 or 720p on the Switch. I bought Snake Pass. And
Yeah,
my wife played a little bit of it. It looks fun. I plan on playing it because it looks fun. If you don't like it, just don't buy it because guess what? I
exactly.
don't like Destiny. I didn't buy the shit. I have played
Yep.
Destiny. I have seen Destiny. Even when they announced the game, I wasn't interested because it's like a spin-off of Halo. I didn't buy it. And guess what? I'm not buying or watching a single video. I'm not buying Injustice 2. I'm not buying it.
Oh,
You see how easy that is? I don't like what
I,
I see. I choose to say I'm not gonna buy it.
I don't buy shooters because I don't like them. And do you see me bitching about how bad Call of Duty is in every video? No, I just don't buy it and don't care for it. That's
I'm
I'm
all.
gonna
about to,
keep it real. Splatoon is the first online multiplayer shooter that I've bought in a long time that I actually gave a shit about. And I don't mean like a first-person shooter, like a shooter that I've bought in
shooter
a long
period.
time. I mean, I've bought other shooters like Serious Sam, Shadow, um, Shadow Blade
Shadow-
with Lo Wang. I'm planning on getting Bulletstorm because it's got Duke Nukem in it. and I mean, I like old school shooters like that. But I mean, I'm not like online games where it's like, oh man, look at this online. My clan and I we're going over here. I don't give a shit about stuff like that. But Splatoon is the first game that I actually online shooter I played in a long time that I gave a shit about. You know, the last one was Halo 2.
And I want to say something. This always online game is not always a good thing. Look at my little cousin. His dad gave him for yesterday as a present the Crew. I think it was a card game named the Crew. He
Yeah.
can't
Mhm.
play. He can't play it because he doesn't have a Xbox Live Gold, the thing that requires you
the
to
thing
play.
that about
So he basically got a game and he can't play it. He start crying, and I was like, and his dad doesn't want to pay that much to play for online play. So he practically got a game he can't play.
Man, that's why I go PC for third-party multiplats because I don't have to pay for online. I mean, I already pay for it just for having internet. Like I don't have to pay another tenuous amount for online because fuck that.
So
Well,
I always
Except
dislike the.
with the Switch now, you gotta have online to do shit, which is fucked
Oh,
up.
believe me, I'm getting Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is painful for me to have because I'm an avid online player in Mario Kart, and me having to pay just so I can play the game the way I want to. I'm kind of pissed at Nintendo for that, but at the end of the day, I'm still going to buy it. Paid for the online.
well, we'll go ahead and end it here instead of going, negative about the guys that don't want to buy Nintendo products because of reasons. So go ahead and give your sign outs, guys, and we'll call it a night.
Oh, you're dead. Cool.
Well, I guess I'll start. Well, it's been a good night. I'm not technically that big of a movie person, but I had a lot of fun talking to you guys about movie. Like I went out of my comfort zone in this podcast. And it was damn good. Now
All
you
right.
guys turn.
It's me, Mr. Red Fox. As you guys know, I am a huge movie buff, so I like talking about movies. And I don't know what my topic for next week's BS Busters will be because I don't know what bullshit will come out that needs to be busted. But I'm sure something will pop up. Something always does.
There's always bullshit in the horizon in the gaming community.
Yeah, basically.
All right, anybody else? Or you guys sleep? Probably sleep.
Let's
Well,
just get on the detail here and say that orange juice is bad for you, and anybody who drinks orange juice should feel bad. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Man, you need to stop with that. Yeah, you're wrong, man. You're wrong.
well, anybody else? Is it just me left?
It's me next, I guess. I suppose.
All right, go ahead.
This is Perry Fan 74, random citizen of the internet. Not really a movie person unless it's animated. I never pay for a live action movie. They're just not my thing. But anyway, good cast, even though I didn't talk much. It was fun. Splatoon Talk was fun. Can't wait for that game. Can't wait for a lot of games, but Zelda keeps me going for a while. One more dungeon or Divine Beast to go for me. But yeah, follow my Twitter, Tumblr, PerryFan74 for some awesome Zelda screen caps and some upcoming Snake Pass screen caps because that game's really fun. I just got the hang of going up poles.
I want to play. I want to play that damn game. I think I'm going to buy it.
It's really fun. It's fun.
You should go buy it.
You see my avatar, you will know I adore Snake. So believe me,
You
I
know,
want to play him.
I'm not gonna get Snake Pass yet. I'm saving my hard drive space for ukulele.
How dare you say that, Mr. Red Fox? They kick out John Tron. I'm going to boycott the game.
We're not gonna go there.
We're not going there. Look, that game has a cheesy ass rap like Donkey Kong 64, and as soon as I saw it, I'm like, I must get this game.
Oh my god, I need that game in my life.
Just for the cheesy ass Donkey Kong style rap.
I waited for a Banjo-Kazooie like game for 8 years.
Well, they said it's been 20 years. You waited 20. I waited 20 years for a game like this. So yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't
just
know.
a little shout out. If you're excited about ukulele, don't forget about other little indie games that are trying to harness
Hat in
the power,
Time,
like Hat in Time.
Lobo Destroyo.
Lobo
Lobo
Destroyo. I
Destroyo.
think POI Poi is on Steam right now, and not as polished. It was made by like one dude in Spain. It's on Wii U actually. It's Freeze Me.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I got that on PC.
It's a cute little game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm Dr. Feelgood. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I know you guys may not have wanted to hear about movies that much, but we do talk about just about anything, movies, anime, games, and life. So I may do another mini OGAL in the middle of this week. It may just be like maybe 45 minutes to an hour where we talk about some recent gaming news, more mostly game related. So be on the lookout for that. I'm not sure, but I may. Depends on if my clever bastards here are
There
available.
hasn't really been that much big gaming news. It's because I think people are actually playing games this time.
I hope so. My wife is playing Breath of the Wild right now. But
this game is crap, man.
But anyway, thank you guys for coming tonight. I know I had to reschedule a few times. Thank the viewers for tuning in. Look for the edited video. I think I may add some either Snake Pass or more Breath of the Wild gameplay. Not sure yet. But as I always say, keep it gaming and see you guys later.